Rabner JOHIUN and I'm first year student of Education Chemistry. Currently, I'm taking my elective subject which is Adult Learning under lecturer Dr. Zulkifli Khair. In this video, I'll be presenting my Pecha Kucha about transformative learning through movie Hidden Figures. The movie Hidden Figures tells the story of three African American women, which is Catherine, which is the mathematician, Mary Jackson, the aspiring engineer, and unofficial supervisor Dorothy Vaughan. They are the female African American computing section of NASA at Langley. So basically the movie is based on a true story which three of them, the colored women, has dealing with racial and gender discrimination. Their journeys align well with Jack Maziero's transformative learning theory, which describes how individuals undergo profound shifts in perspective through critical reflection and experience. Next, when the US saw a successful Russian satellite launch, the US pressured their country to send American astronauts into space so that they can compete with Russia and be the best from Russia. So basically in this movie, Catherine is the main character, which is the colored woman, becomes the first African American woman in the team of NASA in that building, which assists by Al Harrison's from the Space Task Group. So, Catherine's ability as the brilliant mathematicians and physicists worked with NASA in calculating trajectories as a colored woman is impressed Al Harrison, which is the director of the Space Task Group for US. So basically, in this movie, we can see that these three women face so many problems, and the problems keep coming to them because of the colored reason. So we can see that Dorothy Vaughan has been acting supervisor of the section, only having the responsibilities but not the title or the associated pay. So Dorothy believes not getting the promotion is largely the doing of her Caucasian supervisor. Then meanwhile, Mary lacks the necessary qualifications for the promotion and cannot get those qualifications as the extension course are not taught in any high school accessible to African American in Hampton where she lives. Next, in that era shows from the movie, coffee is used as a symbol of racial segregation and discrimination. The coffee pot is located in a separate room labeled colored and is reserved only for African American employees. That's what happened in that building where Catherine's work. So Catherine has faced the problem in that building. One of them is the coffee, and that's present how racial the people are in that building. This is present how much they hate her in that movie. Next, another thing that Catherine faced in that building with full of white people is no bedroom for colored people in the building, and this has affected her in many ways. However, Catherine didn't just stop there or just silence herself, because Catherine recognizes that staying silent won't change anything. So Catherine must do something for herself. Now what happened is, Catherine facing both gender and race issues in that building. She said there is no place for her to pee and having to run half a mile to use the colored bathroom in another building. And that's so pity of her. So what just happened is, Catherine starts speaking up and proving her indispensability She talks with confidence and speaks for justice for what she felt towards Al Harrison. We can see Al Harrison is the true hero. He is the chief of NASA's Space Task Group. He uses his power to eliminate the discrimination within the workplace and challenge his employees to abandon societal norms. Next, we can see the highlight of the movie, which Catherine has confronted her boss about segregation. We can see that Al Harrison says that here at NASA, we all pee the same color. He actually uses a plier to knock down the sign reading of white bedroom. Al Harrison is the true hero and the true triggers to change this colored woman's life. Al Harrison hands her his pass and lets Catherine come in the room so that Catherine can watch the lunch. So much hate, so much racist they face, Catherine, Dorothy, and Mary. However, Catherine can confront her boss. Dorothy earn her rightful promotion, and Mary wins her court case, completes her degree. So, eventually, Hidden Figures beautifully illustrates transformative learning through the protagonist's journeys. The film highlights how education, resilience, and defiance against injustice can lead to profound personal and societal change.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today, my presentation is about transformation learning based on the movie Missing Home. It is prepared for my assignment SHMR 1023 Adult Learning under my beloved doctor, which is Dr. Zulkifli Khair. So, this Indonesian movie is about our focus is transformation learning. So, we want to individuals change through deep reflection. And also, this movie provides a strong example through family dynamics and also the emotional growth between them. So, the story follows as the parents wanting their child to come back home. So, they're making a plan, but another plot twist that happens that reveal the deeper personal transformation and also the emotional conflicts between the parents and also the children. So, this family shows that a major conflict crisis between the father and also the children. And the other one is about the unsaid thought between the family. And the third one is also the tribe of this family is from the Batak. So it has a lot of tradition that has to be followed. The first character that I want to show you guys is Baba. He is very firm, have strong principle, and upholding the tradition of Batak tribe. And he is also very strict and strong to his children. The first character that I want to show you guys is the transformation that happens to Baba, which is the turning point that happens to him, is he's being offended by their son's point of view, which is the male's children. And his self-examination happens as a self-guarded as a father towards his children. The transformation, the critical assessment that happens to Baba, he has to lower down his ego, that this marks a major shift in how he sees and relates to his children as their children growing up, and also needs a love from a parents, which is from him especially. The second character, who is Mak Domo, she is very sweet, loving, and always obedient to her husband. She always hides her pain, but slowly she becomes a bridge to bring her family together that connects together between the father and also the children. What I love about character Mak Domo, as her turning point, she wanting her sons to back home. So she has to make a plan about the divorce and also ignore her own guarded as a mother to his children, especially as wanting their sons to go back home. Despite she's wanting really bad her sons to go back home, she wants to reunite her family as well because Mak Domo feels that her family is not strengthened as well as before, so she easily wants to reunite her family really well. Despite the third character, which is Sarma, she is the second daughter out of the four siblings. She is very sweet and always taking a good care of her parents as well, despite her very busy jobs. The third character, which is the turning point that happens to Sarma, which is she feels like Bapa and Ma always neglect her existence, that makes her feelings very sad and also emotional. So by that she expressed her feelings that she also wants to be heard. The turning point that happens to Sarma, as the pressure goes very high and unbearable to Sarma, she's pointing out all her unsaid words with emotions to her family and makes them realize their own faults. And she also wants to be heard in that family as well. As the pressure, the last group of character which is I want to tell is between the Domo, Sahad, and also the Gabe. This is the group of children that do not wanting to go back home as the pressure from the father as well to them. The last group of character which is each of them having the same turning point that they cannot bearing their father's strictness anymore as the children keeps growing day by day. So they keep pointing out all of the unsaid feelings they kept since they was kid. So the realization between their father is happens and it shows that the communication must be fair in every families. Each person, regardless of age or roles, deserves to be heard as and accepted to make a loving family. So the realization, I feel like the main theme of this movie is about the ego that being the obstacles of the love between this family, and also the parenting style of this Asian family is very hard and also cannot being bearable of any of kind children in this family. And I feel like the moral of the story is about the fairness in every part of the family members, that wanting the bonding between the family keeps grow day by day, and I feel like the communication between the family is very priority. And my self-reflection is about the key message. It's true that change begins from within. The listening, empathy, and honesty are the foundations of strong and loving relationships that towards the formation of the character of this family as well. I think that's all for me. I hope you guys will see this movie as well as much as I do, because it gives me a lot of motivation, self reflection, and also a realization for us to come back home as well to see our family.
Okay, so hello and welcome to my presentation of adult learning. So today I'm going to show you how Andy said, the protagonist of a film called The Devil Wears Prada, experienced a transformative journey in which that it really reshaped her identity and values through her time at Runway. So she is a smart, ambitious journalism graduate, and she landed a job as an assistant to Miranda Presley, who is a editor of a high fashion magazine called Runway. But she still doesn't care about the fashion yet. So a bit of brief explanation about transformative learning theory. It is a process of changing one worldview through critical reflection, which is often triggered by a disorienting dilemma. So we're going to see how Andy goes through this transformative learning theory. So her dilemma begins when she is constantly belittled for not fitting in the fashion field. She realized that being smart alone isn't enough. Her belief about being professional are getting challenged by how the environment of the workplace is. So she starts to reflect herself if she is doing something wrong. She feels torn apart between staying true to herself or either adapting to the environment in order to success. So her identity is starting to get shaken. So because of the pressure to get into the fashion, so she decides to learn and adapt, which is she asks Nigel as a mentor in order to getting a makeover to get more fashionable. So at that time, she started to critically question her assumption that maybe fashion is not that shallow, and she thought that maybe being professional it means more than what she thought. So her mindset is starting to shifting. And then through Miranda, she see how fashion shapes identity, industry, and also influence. And she also learns that runway holds the real cultural power, and it is not just about looking pretty. Also, Andy recognizing transformation in other co-workers as well, which is, for example, here Nigel and Emily. These two people here reflect the cause of transformation. So she wondered is that the life that she wants to be. So throughout the time, Andy already excels her job. So she nailing the deadlines, and she predicting the needs and also that, and she changed what she dresses, and she become the ideal assistant. But at what cost here is how the conflict begins with the personal life, with her friends and her partner. So they all accuse her for changing, for not being the Andy that they know before. So because of that, she starts to thinking, does the success that she already got really have to mean that she needs to sacrifice her values or relationship? So that is the turning point of her journey and her career as a journalist in runway. So the breaking point is in Paris, where she witnessing Miranda herself betray Nigel, which is her longtime friend, just for her power, which it really hits her so hard, in which that she thinks, is this the future that she heading through? So because of that, she decided to walk away from the Paris, from her job, and from the whole life as a journalism in runway. So it is a bold decision to reclaim her agency, her dignity as herself. So she applies for a new job, and for this time, it is a true journalism, which is her true passion, in which that what she brings. So she also brings her all what she learned and what she experienced before in runway. And because of that, she also no longer the same person who sacrificed herself for the fashion. She understands the power, the compromise, and also what she can draw the line. So she's become more wiser now. So as the core lesson of it, transformative learning isn't about acquiring knowledge. It's about how to rethink who we are and what we stand for. So here, Andy learned how to define success by own herself and not by how the environment works like. So her journey maps really perfectly to the Mazarov model, which is the dilemma, the reflection, the reframing, and the acting upon a new understanding of self. So she already embodies all of it. So just like Andy and other adults here, they all often learn through life challenges, in which that this film is not about just fashion itself. It shows that Growth comes when we reflect critically and take action. So, her story is more than a fashion makeover. It is a powerful example about the transformative learning, about how she grew from the discomfort and she reflects from it and take courage from the whole experience, from what she learned. So that is all for me. Thank you so much.